And we are back once again for the next episode of A Conversation with Kely. This is episode 85, almost to 90, Allie. That's pretty crazy. We'll be at 90 probably towards the end of our coverage of this season. But we're here. It's the triple eviction. We're here to cover it. All the craziness that went down. It was pretty insane. I would say a pretty eventful triple eviction overall. Did not go quite
I will say it was a good one, just besides like one person leaving.
Yeah. We'll definitely talk about that.
But the rest of it, I will say, was pretty eventful.
Yes, before we get into all of that craziness, I am here with my lovely and beautiful co-host, Allie, who is very exhausted after a long shift of work. How are you doing today?
I am good. Oh my god, I had a 10-hour shift, well, three in a row, and today it was pretty crazy and hectic. But I'm glad to be home.
Well, I had the day off, so woo, go me. You very much need a day off, though, because it seems like you worked very hard. But you know what? We can distress from the work world for a bit and talk about this triple, because like we said, it was a very eventful one for sure. I don't think this was in any way a boring outcome. The way things turned out here was definitely quite exciting, and I think it sets in motion what I think is going to be a very exciting end game moving forward. I don't think, especially with the way this triple ends, this is not the final five I would have expected to see.
I know.
And I'm very excited to see, what ultimately ends up happening here. But we'll, of course, get into all of that. So we're going to start off talking about all of the events leading up to the triple. As we know, the last episode left off on a bit of a cliffhanger for some reason, mainly because of I think the pure idiocy of it all, just the idea of it's like insane to think about the fact that someone was going to leave because of a fucking gummy bear. And we can see that everyone's like really mortified that Marty's actually going to go through with it. And Kevin, meanwhile, is feeling that this path is going to help set up his end game better than pretty much anything. He knew that he kind of had to make a choice, and he wants to kind of draw the line in the sand this week. So we see the veto ceremony. Betty does use the veto on herself, and Marty then bases his decision off the powers of a gummy bear and does put up Gino here. And my God, I mean, again,
iconic.
Like I said, this is something that I think people are going to be joking about for years. Like, you know how on Twitter people are always joking about like crazy things that happen on Big Brother. I'm telling you, next season of BBUS, we're gonna see, oh my God, this person's gonna draw gummy bears now. Like, it's gonna happen.
I can see BB Can having like a gummy bear comp or something, but BBUS will probably rip it off.
Maybe.
They'll probably steal the idea and be like, "This is a BB Can thing."
They're definitely gonna try some variation of the safety chain this season, because that tends to happen a lot.
Probably.
But basically, Josh after this is feeling completely safe, as he should be. He's not gonna go. Like, he has zero chance at this point. Yeah. And Marty knows this vote could very well flip, but he doesn't seem to care that much. And we get a very we get a very defenseless Marty in this episode. Like, the whole episode, he seems so defeated. He knows his game is over. He doesn't really want to do much to change it. Allie, what did you think about this? Because this was very different from the Marty we've been seeing like the past couple weeks.
It was interesting for sure. I don't know. I feel like he just sort of gave up in that scenario. It seemed like he just didn't really care who left.
And that's the thing. Like, I'm just kind of like, if you knew that you made a bad move, why do it? Like, why not just put up the person that benefited your game the most, which probably would have been in that scenario. Kevin probably would have been the better option to go with, because Josh would have likely gone home, and then Marty gets his way. Why risk it and put up someone that is probably going to flip? Like, it most likely is going to go because of a vote flip. Like, I just didn't really understand Marty here. And like I said, the whole episode, he acts so defeated. Like, he's ready to leave. And I just didn't understand it at all. Like, it did not feel like the same Marty. And don't get me wrong, I have not been a fan. I have not been a fan of the Marty that we've been seeing the past 2 weeks. But this just felt like very out of character for him. Like, I really didn't understand. I was waiting for him to pull off like a Dan's funeral of sorts where he's like, no, I'm fucking with you guys and I'm actually in this game. But like, that doesn't happen.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So.
Oh, it was interesting.
Yeah. So Kevin and Haleena are shocked that this happened, and they feel they can easily get Gino out here because they pretty much have the numbers. And Josh feels that this is absurd, but that he's feeling safe. And we see JL, she talks to Gino, and to her credit, she does do some pretty good work here to like make sure that like
I will say, like, I'm not really a big fan of her, but I mean, she has been surprising me a bit.
Yeah, I think I've been saying I think the best thing for Jacey-Lynne's game is for Gino to go. But I think that should have happened a lot earlier in the game because I think that she would have been able to go. Her game would have a lot more respect. I think if Gino would have left a lot earlier, because I think we saw even early on there were things that she wanted to do that she just didn't do because she was so attached to Gino. But basically, she says that Marty shouldn't have put anyone in that situation, and he probably sees himself as a mastermind after this. And she's pretty sure that if Kevin was on the block, that it would have flipped, and Marty didn't want to get any blood on his hands, which I think is a pretty fair bet. He didn't want to have to, he didn't really want to have to go after Kevin yet. And Marty clarifies with Kevin that he is voting out Josh. And this part of Marty, is very typical, where he is literally interrogating everyone. He's like, all right, you're going to vote the way I said you're going to vote, right? Like, we're good.
He's being very controlling.
Yeah, like, and this is the thing. This has been, I think, one of the biggest issues with Marty's game all season is that he doesn't like when people are dishonest. He doesn't like it when people aren't, completely 100% straight up with him about everything. If you cross him in any way, like, you're dead to him. And I think that's been Marty's biggest issue all game is that he doesn't want to lie. He doesn't want to, mislead people. Like, that's not the kind of game that he tells himself he wants to play. But yet Marty has played a very dishonest game, but he just won't own up to it. It's just very hypocritical all around.
He's just not a good game player besides comps.
Oh no, he's been absolutely horrendous. And this scene was honestly very funny, where he basically is telling Marty exactly what he wants to hear. And Kevin talks about how he feels he has a chance to win the game and survive a potential triple here. You really are seeing them trying to give Kevin this winner's edit. Like, you can tell production is obsessed with Kevin. They want Kevin to win the game. So it's gonna be interesting to like look back on this season, especially if Kevin doesn't win. How is it gonna hold up in retrospect? Because they've really been pushing hard for like, I think, a Kevin win at this point. And I'm not sure with the final five we're getting if that's gonna happen, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I would be here for a win.
Oh yeah,
like a Kevin win, but he's not my number one choice.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely would love to see Kevin win. I think he's played the best game out of everyone left, but I'm just not sure if it's actually going to happen. We'll have to see. But Jacey-Lynne talks to Haleena and says that she's worried that people are going to vote against Marty this round because of how controlling he's become. And she asks her to promise that she won't flip, which she remains firm that she won't. And Jacey-Lynne straight up just does not believe her. She can see that Haleena is not being honest with her here. However, she does tell her that if Kevin were to flip, she would then have to follow suit. This could have been really bad for Haleena. Like, if Haleena wasn't in the good position that she was, this could have been a really bad situation for her.
It could have like really screwed her over.
Yeah, I think the thing that Halena's done a good job with is that she's never actively lied about something that she's doing. Like, if she doesn't say, she's
honest.
Like, she'll never say the words, I'm voting this way.
Besides when she was the rogue vote.
Yeah, but she'll never say the words.
I feel like if she makes it to the final two, she'll like use that as part of her speech.
Yeah, definitely. Like, she'll never say the words, I'm voting this way, I'm definitely doing this. Like, she's always open to do things, and I think that definitely is going to like help her in the end. So Gino and Jacey-Lynne talk to Haleena and Kevin, and they talk about how much they all feel they played, and that Marty just wants his way, and that this is an extremely idiotic HOH all around, and that likely the three of them will likely go on the block next, and that if they were to flip, it wouldn't make sense, and that if they can stay tight as a four, they can get whatever they want. I think this is kind of bullshit. I don't think it would not be in their best interest at all to go to Final Four with a showmance. We saw what happened in Big Brother 21 when someone did that, and it did not.
Don't remind me of that.
I mean, like,
that season is horrible.
No, it is, but this season could have very much played out in a similar way if Gino wasn't going this week, because when Gino wasn't on the block, I pretty much was saying, like, yeah, he's kind of locked for the end game at that point. So the fact that he's going, it changes a lot of things, and I'm glad to see that, because I think it opens up the end game a lot more for a lot of different people. So that definitely is very exciting, and I'm glad that ultimately this is not the direction we headed in. So that's everything we get in terms of before the jury, but we get a little bit of look at the jury house, and Ellie discuss that.
All right, yes, we get a look at the jury house, which I love these segments so much.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we really need jury house feeds, like, for real.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hermon is angry at those who didn't keep him within the house, especially Marty.
Yeah.
Moose is sad that he didn't make it all the way, but he's very excited to be reunited with Hermon. I'm just going to say, like, them being reunited is just so pure.
Oh, I love their friendship. I really do. It's definitely something I'm excited to hopefully see, like, go on, like, after the season. Like, I think it'll be really fun to watch, because I can see them being, like, the kind of friends that, like, they're always at each other's houses. They're always bonding. Like, I definitely see that with Hermon and Moose.
Oh, same. Hermon is mind blown to see him and not Marty. Like,
I love Hermon's reaction where he's like, "Where's Marty?" Like, that's what we're all wondering.
It was so good.
It was so good.
Moose thinks Marty had the secret power of veto, which, I mean, you'll see.
Yeah, I think that's also a testament to how badly Marty played that round, because, like, he made it seem obvious that he did when he didn't. So
very true.
I feel like Jacey-Lynne could have just gone with that, and she didn't. So
I know, she should have used it.
Yeah. Like, she should have just said no. Like, she should have just said that Marty had it. Like, I think that would have honestly done her a lot better, but obviously
that's true. Yeah. Moose feels he was targeted because they knew he could win the game. I mean, he was a really strong player.
He was. He was
very likable. He was good at comps. All that.
I don't think he had, like, that path to the end that he needed, though. Like, I think he needed like Hermon and people like that to stay in the game, and that didn't happen.
I know.
So
Hermon says if Marty didn't use the secret POV, he could win the game.
Which I was like, no. That's not happening.
We do not want a Marty win.
Count that out entirely. So we don't get a ton of content with the jury house here and where they're leaning towards, but we are going to talk a little bit about where they're leaning towards after this episode, because we have some information, and it's very unfortunate. That's all I will say on terms of the jury house. But it is time for the first eviction vote of the night, and Josh basically says that he won't beg anyone to keep him in the game, but hopes that people do. Gino brings up how he got into this situation. I love how he called it a sticky gummy situation. Kept his feet up, and if he thinks he's good for their game, to keep him and honor him. So the vote goes down, and in the end, the gummy bear does prevail. Gino leaves by a vote of 4-1, and my God, Jacey-Lynne's face again.
I'm gonna say Summer voting him out with a gummy bear is iconic. I
didn't even notice she did that. I love that.
I loved it so much.
But I will say Jacey-Lynne's face again, just being completely unaware of what's going on 2 times in a row. This has happened to her. It's so funny. It's like people have compared her to, like, Danielle Murphy with, like, the faces and whatnot, and I definitely do see the comparisons. I like Danielle a lot more, even though she turned out to be kind of a crazy lady.
I mean, I was not really a Danielle fan.
I mean, I liked her in the game, but I like I like her more than Jacey-Lynne for sure.
All right.
Yeah, definitely more entertaining, I think.
Yeah,
but I will say her faces have been iconic, and this was a great moment for sure. So we get to Gino's interview, and he talks about how unhappy he is, and he says he wanted to show that he trusted Marty. So when he walked in, he felt kind of blindsided, and he hopes the best for Jacey-Lynne. I do want to mention, I like that they've been showing the goodbye messages a lot more for like the jury, because I think it's a lot more crucial. Kevin's goodbye messages have been fantastic. I think it's been the perfect example of what you need to do in a goodbye message, like kind of talking about, why you voted them out, but then also showing the respect you had for them. Like, I think he's done a really good job with that. And I think that's something else that I've been very impressed by is like his messages. His are the ones that have like stuck out to me the most. So I did want to mention that. But yeah, Gino's gone here, and I'm honestly happy.
I really enjoy the goodbye messages.
Yeah, I'm very happy that Gino ended up leaving, because like I said, I think it opens up the game a lot more. There was potential.
And also, because like he could have just like won out if he stayed.
There was potential we were gonna get this showmance in the final two. And
honestly, if Gino won, it would have been so boring because he's so monotone.
Yeah, like it would not have been if Gino and Jacey-Lynne were the final two. It's like, why even cover the finale?
I mean, I would root for Jacey-Lynne in that case.
Maybe I don't know. I think that Gino definitely did have a chance to win, but not really based on anything that he did. It really was just based on the fact that he was just in a good social positioning within the house. He never really rocked the boat too much, but also he had someone that was just completely just simping him at every opportunity that he could. In Marty, and that definitely could have potentially helped Gino, but I'm really happy to see that at the end of the day, Marty made a dumbass move and Gino is out of the house.
Dumbass move for him, but entertaining for the rest of us.
Yes, I just think it opens up the game a lot more, and I think that overall, it makes for a very exciting triple eviction.
Like the season, I don't even dislike the season. I just don't like how certain things have turned out, but I do like how it's like very unpredictable.
There was a point in the middle where I was kind of like, I'm just kind of over this, but I will say like the past few weeks have been a lot better. Well, this week has been a lot better, and I think it has redeemed this season quite a bit. So I think we are going to have a good winner, thankfully.
I hope so. All right. Arisa lets them in on the fact tonight will be a triple eviction.
Which they all kind of suspected. Like, it didn't really seem like anybody was shocked about this. Kevin literally said it in his, like, confessional that they could potentially have a triple eviction. So
they also seem kind of excited.
Yeah, they did.
Because they were all probably like gunning for the HOH and such.
Yeah, they wanted the spice.
Yep. It's time for the next HOH. For this competition, it's a days comp, and after coming close so many times, Josh wins and is the new HOH.
Which I was very excited about at first, because this has been Josh's
entire... but I mean, he also didn't need it.
No, he didn't. He didn't need it. I think that there were other times he definitely could have won it. I don't think this was a good time.
During the triple, he was like the safest.
Well, the thing with Josh is that like he was literally like in the middle of everything, because he had the deal with Betty. He was very good with Kevin and Haleena, and he also was on pretty good terms with Gino and Jacey-Lynne. And it didn't really seem like she would go for him either.
Yeah, and he also had like a deal with Summer.
Yeah, like he was in a really good position with pretty much everyone. So I do agree that he didn't need the HOH, but I will say, after seeing him come close so many times, at first I was very excited to see, oh my God, Josh actually got the HOH. But my excitement very much dwindled once we get to what he actually
I know. I mean, I will say that his first two noms are good. The rest, no.
Yeah, so we get to his nominees here. His first two nominations are obvious with Marty and Jacey-Lynne, but his third nominee was not what I would have expected. He puts up Summer here.
Like, what? I was so annoyed by this, because, like, what the hell?
Yeah, I just... loyalty is dead this season. Like, that's not a thing that exists in Big Brother Canada 10. I think the only loyalty we've seen is Kevin and Haleena so far, but I'm waiting for even those two to turn on each other because there has been no loyalty. Well, okay, Gino and Jacey-Lynne as well, sure, had some loyalty to each other, but they were never really in a position where they needed to cut each other. So it's like
they kind of needed each other.
Yeah, they really did. They really did. Well, Gino needed Jacey-Lynne. I don't think Jacey-Lynne needed Gino.
Yeah.
But in terms of, just ridiculous, in terms of just like completely just baffling HOHs, I mean, this is definitely up there. But the entire season has been this way. So I really should not be surprised that Josh made a terrible move and put up Summer. But at the same time, I'm just really questioning, like, why would you do this? Like, he was in such a good position here. The one thing he needed to do was not put up Summer. Go for someone like Kevin. Go for someone like Haleena.
People are thinking that he's like in love with Kevin.
Oh no, I think he literally said he has a crush on him.
Oh yeah, I think he does. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is a correct. I don't think that's speculation. I think that's pretty much confirmed at this point. And I understand that.
But isn't Josh in a relationship?
Yeah, he is.
Right.
Like, you have to take a shot at some point, and Kevin needed to go for one of those two. Hell, put up Haleena. Haleena has not been nominated yet. Like, this is the chance to put her up.
Yeah, I actually thought she would at least like be nominated, but maybe not.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't think she would have gone. Like, he still would have gotten his way and like get who he wanted to out, but like, putting up Haleena made far more sense than putting up someone like Summer, especially when you see Summer after this. She confronts Josh and she's very upset about this because apparently he lied to her when he campaigned last week that he would not put her up on his HOH, and he completely just threw that away, and she feels this makes no sense whatsoever.
Well, I mean, it didn't make sense. She's correct.
Yeah, like, no. And I've seen a lot.
Summer had every right to confront him.
I've seen a lot of people say that Summer overreacted here and Summer was being way too bitter. But like, I understood why Summer was upset about this because
just hurt.
Josh literally gave her his word. Josh literally said like a few hours ago, "Oh, I would not put you up if I was in, this scenario." And then he was just like, "Fuck all that," and just completely just, changed his course and didn't give her a heads up or anything. Just really bad on his end. And I feel like
Josh,
a lot of HOHs
Josh went from like in the best position to like fucking over his game.
Yeah, no. Continuing the trend this season of how to not win the game, Josh pretty much did that here. Like, this solidified Josh is not winning this game. Like, there's no way Josh is winning this game after this.
No, not at all. He's literally playing for second.
Yeah, no, he definitely is. Well, at this point, I think he's playing for third or fourth, but we'll see.
Pretty much.
Yeah, this was just really bad for Josh overall. I really just don't know what he was thinking here. Maybe we'll get some more clarity like after the season, but this is really bad.
And the veto goes down for this comp. They all have to drop balls through a tube and then have to position them into the empty slots. And in what's a pretty steady lead, Jacey-Lynne does with the veto, which good for her.
Yeah, I will say the one thing I have noticed from Jacey-Lynne that actually is quite impressive, every single time she has been at risk of going, she wins the veto. And I think she wins the veto when she's needed to.
That is a good story for her in the end, which is like very impressive.
Yeah, like that's probably the one thing I will definitely give her credit for is that she won a comp when she needed to. I think she never really did a lot to put herself in that position to where she wouldn't go. But yeah, I felt like this comp, it was pretty obvious that Jacey-Lynne was going to win. She was pretty much in the lead from the beginning, and she dominated this comp.
Yeah, she did. She did. She was in the lead.
Yeah, there was like no one. I don't even know who was like ahead of her. Like I feel like. Yeah, she actually did really well in a lot of the comps in this episode. She almost won HOH. Like she was in a really good spot in terms of comps, and definitely would have gone, I think, if she did not win this veto. So
oh yeah, it would definitely be Marty and JL who would have left.
For sure.
She obviously uses the veto on herself, and Josh then shockingly and stupidly puts up Betty. So he also makes
cementing his chances of
he literally
losing this game.
He made another stupid move. Like,
yeah, further just continually
like,
declining his game.
Betty was like one of the people who was the most loyal to him.
I would argue she was the most loyal to him. Like, yeah. I think,
and she was always so nice to him, and he like fucked her over.
If you look at like Kevin and Haleena, like, yeah, sure, they've been loyal to Josh, but they're absolutely gonna cut Josh.
Yeah, like they have the Rat Pack alliance, but like they also said to him, "Yeah, we're gonna put you up as a third nom," and he was fine with it, and he still keeps them safe.
Yeah, like in a scenario where it's those three, Kevin definitely cuts Josh, Haleena definitely cuts Josh. Like, there's no question about it whatsoever. And so I just think that he had an opportunity to make a move and like show that I'm not playing Kevin and Helena's game, I'm playing my own game. And he just looks like the GOAT. Like, Josh is the GOAT now. I'm sorry. He is. Like, there's no way I can look at Josh's game objectively.
He's not a good strategist at all.
Yeah, I can't look at Josh's game objectively and say, like, yeah, he did what was best for him this season. Putting a Betty especially was a terrible move. So I don't know what he was thinking when it comes to this, because Betty, I feel like, was the one person that was never going to turn on him. Literally was being grouped in with her. But at this point in the game, that's not necessarily a bad thing to happen. Like, I feel like he needed to capitalize more on his positioning with Betty. She was so excited when he won the HOH, and for him to just like, oh, well, I'm going to put you up now.
He's like, fuck you, I'm going to put you up.
Yeah, I really just don't understand. And again, I've said this so many times this season. I feel like I'm a broken record at this point, saying I do not understand.
Jury management is going down so fast.
I'm so like puzzled by his decision, but I really am just not understanding what Josh was thinking here in terms of this HOH. Like, if he was trying to get out Summer, he did a good job with it, but I don't feel like that's what he was trying to do. I feel like he was trying to get out Martin and Jacey-Lynne.
Summer needed to win.
I feel like he was trying to get out those two. It didn't work out. And then he just kind of like was stumped, and he's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And for some reason put up the one person that definitely should have been safe during this HOH. Yeah, so that was not very good at all. But let's talk about this, the actual eviction vote. Marty pitches to everyone that there's a lot that happened in this game and that they need to think about it and make the move that is best for his game. Again, he seems so defeated at this point. Like, he knew he was going. He knew there was nothing he could do to save himself.
He's basically like, just do what you feel.
Yeah. Summer talks about how like she isn't going to waste her breath on anyone and that they should do whatever they need to do. You can tell that Summer's just like really pissed about all this. And Betty is just like shocked. Like, she can barely muster any words whatsoever. Talks about how she doesn't want to leave on a triple. And Arisa lets them know they are voting.
Summer definitely felt very defeated since Tynesha left. Just because, because it's like, she was like her best friend in the house, but like obviously she had other friends too and everything, and she got close to Betty and whatnot, but like she's just felt like very alone since Tynesha left.
Well, she also just kind of took her foot off the gas, and that's really my biggest issue when it comes to Summer's game, is that I think since Tynesha left, Summer just wasn't really doing much. Like, she was kind of just like, she was there, she latched onto people, but she never felt as dominant as she did in those first couple of weeks.
Yeah, pre-jury, she was like playing the best game.
I remember the early weeks where like, Summer's gonna win this game, Summer's running circles around everyone, and it just got to a point where it just seemed like she just like checked out, or
she was like one of my main winner picks preseason.
Yeah, I don't know if she just like checked out or what exactly happened, but definitely when you talk about like pre-jury Summer versus jury Summer, there is a demonstrably different gameplay in both of them. One of them is very subtle in terms of her strategy, doing a great job of like getting close to everyone, checking in with people when she needs to. And then Jury Summer, it's like she just isn't doing as well, and really just not capitalizing on her positions and focusing a little bit too much on people like Gino, people like Haleena and things like that, and not really putting as much effort into, say, her relationships with Betty and Hermon and things like that. I think she needed to do a lot more. And so I felt like it was pretty obvious at this point that Summer's definitely going over Betty, who has done an amazing job, I think, of
I just wanna hug Summer.
Well, I wasn't done talking about my issues with
go ahead.
But I think that it got to a point where it was pretty obvious that Summer was going to leave over Betty, who has done a much better job, I think, of finding ways to keep herself safe, to where pretty much everyone here votes for Betty to stay, which means that Marty and Summer are the next two people to be evicted from the season. I do want to comment on the fact that Summer leaves without hugging a single person. I think she was just really upset with what
she was very upset and betrayed. Like, I'm very happy. Marty, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm very happy Marty left, but I mean, Summer, I'm just very sad. And like, it was just really dumb that Josh did that to her.
Yeah, definitely. Like, despite me not really being that impressed by Summer's game at the end of the day and thinking that I don't really think she had that much of a chance to win, unfortunately, this was definitely not the way I wanted her to go out. Like, I wish Summer was able to at least have a fighting chance. I wish Summer would have gone out on a week where, you know, we could have seen her maybe fight for a veto or something like that. The fact that it happened on a triple this way and she really didn't get much of a chance to do anything to save herself, it's definitely unfortunate. I mean, obviously that's by design with a triple, but just the fact that we just like unceremoniously lost her here, it was unfortunate for sure. It was not the way I thought this was.
It was very sad.
Yeah, it was not the way I thought this was going to play out. But I mean, again, I shouldn't be too surprised considering this entire season has been let's win HOH and put up the person that benefits us the most in the game. So like, I should not be surprised that Josh just was like following the course.
True. Like, he screwed his game in one episode.
Much like everyone has this season when they win.
Literally, though. In their interview, Summer says she feels betrayed and this doesn't make any sense. And Marty says that a lot happened in the game and he thought Kevin would vote his way and he's at peace with it.
Which I don't know why he thought Kevin was going to vote his way after what just happened with Gino. But again, Marty just seems so like checked out at this point.
He does. He's very defeated.
Yeah.
Arisa talks about the gummy bear, and he says he really thought Kevin and JL were going to flip. And Gino putting in his gummy bear would showcase his loyalty.
I don't know how that would showcase his loyalty. It shows that Gino's okay with possibly going on the block, but all right, Marty.
Like, okay. Summer lets Arisa know Josh doesn't have her jury vote, and she wishes the best to Betty.
Yeah, which I mean,
Josh is just I
don't think Josh has anyone's vote at this point. Okay,
nobody's voting for him.
I do want to mention they talked about this in the jury house. The jury did seem relatively impressed by Summer's game. She definitely had a very good chance, I think, of potentially winning. I just think that there were a couple things that she needed to do in order to get there. I think that Summer, the problem with Summer is that I don't know who she wins against. I really don't know what would have happened there.
I don't know. I feel like she had a good chance to win at least because like she was very good socially and she was smart. She just would have needed to win some comps.
But who does she? That's the other thing is that she didn't win a single comp over a lot of people who they haven't won a ton of comps, but they've at least proven that they can win comps. Summer never won a comp. I
know. She tried to throw a lot of them.
I think that was her other biggest issue is that she tried throwing a lot of these.
Unless it was like her strategy and she wanted to like say that in her like final speech or something.
It was definitely her strategy, but it wasn't the right strategy because Summer was never in a good enough position, especially after Tynesha left, to where she can throw comps and she's not going to go up, because it was just kind of making Summer more expendable in that way. You saw that Gino was getting like frustrated by it and things like that. So yeah, I think that Summer definitely had a chance to win. I think she just needed to do some things differently to ultimately get there, because obviously it didn't work out for her.
I just think she didn't deserve to leave in this triple. Like,
no, she didn't.
If you wanted to take a shot at her before the final 2, maybe like 4.
Yeah, go for her at 4, go for her at 5. I really do think this was the chance to put up Haleena, and I don't know why Josh just didn't go for it.
Or even Kevin, like if Josh put that.
Yeah, but Kevin's gone up before. Haleena hasn't. That's why I say Haleena. Because Haleena hasn't gone on the block yet. So I think this was his opportunity to do that. And
I guess he is more loyal to them.
No, he definitely is. He definitely is, and he showed that, which is really bad on his part, because I feel like, again,
because they're not loyal to him.
He's expendable to them. Betty. Yeah, I don't think he was expendable to Betty. He's expendable to her now, but like, I don't think prior to this, I don't think Betty had any sense of cutting him whatsoever. I think that
Josh is definitely like target number 1 now.
Yeah, for sure. Josh is not gonna be in the greatest spot after this. Nope. That being said, I do want to talk a little bit about the final 5 here, because we're at final 5. There's only 2 weeks left.
Yeah, it says it says there's only 2 weeks left till the finale, which is insane.
Yeah.
Where did the time go?
I mean, we just had a triple, so that's why it feels a lot faster. But getting to this final 5 again, this is not the final 5 that I think I ever would have expected going into this season. Even going into the jury phase, like, this was not the final 5 I was expecting very much at all.
Like, out of this final 5, I think the ones I had like the predictions to make it really far would be like Haleena, because like I thought she'd be like a Tala and a Cass. I never saw Kevin making it this far. I thought he was going to be really early boot, but he's actually proven to be a very good strategist and everything. Josh was just kind of like a wild card for me. Jacey-Lynne, I mean, I don't know.
I expected Jacey-Lynne to go like way earlier.
I expected her to be like really early boot, or like maybe make final 2 and like lose. But
that was also me underestimating like her comp ability, which I don't think. I think we kind of counted out. But
and then Betty, I had a feeling she'd make it far, but I didn't. I don't know. I don't remember what my prediction was, but like at least like final like 7-6 maybe.
I think so too, yeah. But this is the final 5 that we're here with, and my prediction at this point, I don't really want to say like I think this person is definitely going to win, but I think the person in the best spot right now is probably Haleena, because she hasn't been nominated at all. And I think that she has played a really strong game. Next to her, I would probably say Betty. I think one of those
both of them played great.
I think one of those two are probably going to take the win at the end, because here's the thing. Like, Kevin, has definitely played the best game out of the final 5. I would love to see him win at the end. I just don't know if he's going to get there, because this group now, I can see him being cut at cutting him.
I can see him being cut at like 4.
Yeah, that's the thing. I see everyone in this group except for maybe Josh, who's probably going next. Especially because the tradition of the season is if you have a really bad HOH, you just go the next week.
Pretty much.
We'll see. But I see, Kevin, I definitely see them cutting him before the finale. Like, I think he might get final 4 potentially. So
I can see that. Yeah. I feel like they're gonna be like, they're gonna catch on to him and be like, we gotta cut him to win.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, people honestly are seeing Kevin's game, but Haleena knows everything that he's done. Betty has a pretty good understanding of what he's done, and I think that they're definitely going to compare notes, and Kevin's going to go.
I feel like also since Kevin and Haleena played very similar games, I feel like she'll probably be like, I have to cut him.
Definitely. And her game hasn't been quite as dominant as his. I think that
his is more dominant. Hers is more low key.
Yeah. So that's why right now for me, I see like Haleena and Betty as like the front runners. I've heard some people say Jacey-Lynne, but I just don't really feel like she's done enough. Like I feel like Jacey-Lynne's ideal game was for Gino to leave a lot earlier than he did. So that way she could have, you know, branched out and kind of play a Rachel Riley and Big Brother 13 type game where she has to be a lot more social and gain those connections. But that she wasn't able to do that because Gino didn't leave until fucking final 7. So
oh yeah. Also, I will say on our draft, you have everyone except for Haleena.
Hell yeah, I do. Hell yeah, I do. So let's go Kevin, Jacey-Lynne, and Betty, and Josh, even though you're probably not going to make it.
Well, Haleena needs to win or else I'm out.
Yeah.
We'll see, though.
Yeah, definitely.
It was just a really hard draft. Like, we didn't, like, know who would make it far and whatnot.
Yeah, it really was.
You know, like, some of the people that, like, I picked, I thought they would make it, like, really far. But a lot of them like were very disappointing and all that kind of thing.
There's some stuff that's really funny to watch back, especially like me saying Jay is like the winner pick and things like that. And then
oh my god,
yeah, like it's honestly gonna be funny to watch that back. We should. I've been saying this. We should definitely do like a reaction to like old like predictions and things like that. I think that would be fun to watch. But other than that, yeah, we only have a couple more weeks left of the season. Very excited to see how everything does end up going down. But before we do close things out, anything else you want to say before we end this here?
Just hopefully the last couple weeks go really well. The season's just been very chaotic. But yeah, I'm excited to see how it ends.
Oh yeah. All right, but other than that, that's it for our thoughts on the triple eviction for BB Can 10. It was definitely a very eventful one, and there's a lot to there was a lot to definitely discuss. But that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, comment down below. Let us know what you guys thought of this week's triple. Love to your thoughts on all of that. We'll see you guys in our next video, and we will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.